All right, I'd like to welcome my father to the show. This is the detective Daniel Ehrenberg. Henry over there, H Dog, right?
That's right. It's Hank. It's the Thin Man.
What is this, episode 212 or something?
Very close. Episode 211 for Dan's dad. That's right. We are doing the Thin Man.
He's not here in the studio, a.k.a. my apartment.
He's not. Okay.
But he is listening for the first time ever.
In 4 years.
I'm sure he's heard bits.
He's heard our
He's
show.
heard bits. But he's put up $100. My mom has, actually. My dad had the nerve to say, can you pay our son $100? And I had the nerve to ask for that money.
All of that is beautiful.
Yeah. Our family are money-grubbing Shylock Jews.
Much like the shyster in After the Thin Man.
There is a shyster for sure.
Shyster.
Yeah.
300 times we get to hear that. Oh, we'll get there.
We'll get there. Hey, we're covering The Thin Man today by W.S. Van Dyke, starring William Powell and Myrna Loy, and then the sequel After the Thin Man, in which there's... No, the Thin Man's not in it, but there's other Thin Men, I guess.
But it's what happened
after the movie The Thin Man. So is in that title, are they referring to the title of the first movie?
I think so. I think so. I kind of like that. If you think about it like that, you could really call any movie now that has a sequel. You just be like...
It's not bad. After Jurassic Park.
Yeah, after.
After Babe.
It's the same characters, but...
That's what MASH did.
They're doing something else. What'd they do again?
They did a spin-off because, they ran for 11 seasons, and then they were like, well, clearly we didn't tell the whole story. There
was a lot to tell in 11 years of a 3-year war.
We did 25 half-hour episodes for 11 straight years, but I have more to say here about the Korean War. So they did a spin-off called Aftermath. Like Aftermath.
So there, oh yeah, I see.
You see what they did?
I do see what they did. But you could really do that for any movie, man. Just pick one. Beverly Hills Cop. After Beverly Hills Cop.
All right, we don't need to run this bit into the ground or anything.
I like to run things into the ground.
I know you do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, this is our earliest franchise we've ever covered, folks.
Yeah, 1934 is this first one. Memorial Day weekend, 1934. This came out.
Oh my! We were in the midst of the Great Depression.
Yep, but people they lined up at the bread lines with an American flag and a patriotic hat of some kind.
That's right.
And then afterwards, they took their government stipend money and went to go see The Thin Man.
That's right. We were in the Great Depression. FDR was president. Hitler had rose to power.
Risen.
Right.
Careful. My dad's listening. He once was a speech teacher.
Ooh. All right. I wouldn't want to have my...
I need you to be eloquent this week.
I will. Okay. I will watch the linguistics.
Mm-hmm.
I will be very, very careful.
My father was a speech teacher, then he became a mailman. And you might picture him, maybe he was like a poetic kind of mailman. But no, he was just walking around listening to Howard Stern.
Didn't he own a gym, too?
He doesn't own a gym. He works at a gym. He
man.
runs a gym.
When I first met you, you told me something like that, and I thought that was pretty unusual.
Yeah,
cool.
He'd already retired from the post office by the time I met you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he worked at that gym all the way until the pandemic, and now he's like, ooh, retirement's amazing. I'm going to keep this up.
Absolutely. Big fan of your dad. He's extremely funny. He's very, very dry. I will never forget one of the funniest things he said to me when I was at your house once at dinner. He said, we were talking about the show Rectify.
Great show.
And, yeah, it is a great show. And your dad just very droll said, I don't know, that show's too giddy for me.
Yeah.
And it was so droll and so dry, I didn't even get that he was kidding. And I just did like kind of a double take, and I was like, I was being polite. I was a guest, and I was like, "Really? You think? What do you mean?" And then you leaned over and looked at me, and you go, "He's kidding." And I was like, "Oh,
That's
I like
a sense of humor for sure. It can get exhausting, but we love him for it. All right.
Well, so are we. So that's it works.
All right, the Thin Man. Let's talk about it. Let's get down to business, Henry. Brass tacks here.
Yeah, brass
Focus. Focus.
Focus on brass tacks here.
See? There's a lot of C's. All right. Thin Man, directed by Mr. W.S. Van Dyke. That stands for Woodbridge Strong Van Dyke, Henry.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay?
Yeah.
He's a Hollywood hack, but we love him. He was known for working fast, getting movies in under budget, in quick time, getting them in there. In Hollywood, he was referred to as One Take Woody.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
That's right.
That makes sense. So what I read about the making of this, it seemed like he was kind of a mover. Like, let's get this take done and let's go.
Yeah, no second takes in this movie.
No.
I don't know how he
Like-
dealt with a fucking dog. It's like a chaotic element on set.
Well, we didn't have animal rights groups back then, so maybe. Get over there.
You think
That dog
Skippy
is
really took some shit, man?
It's,
That dog was famous. He's got like a filmography.
it's crazy. It's crazy.
You know what's
Skippy.
fucked up is that his name is Asta in the movies. That's the character's name that he's playing.
Right.
But the dog's name in real life is Skippy.
right.
All right? But then I was doing some more research, and he's in movies down the line. He's in Bringing Up Baby,
Oh.
and he's credited in that movie as Asta. What's going on
Weird.
there? Trying
That's
to
weird.
capitalize on his Thin Man's
Yeah.
success.
I
Use his
think
real name.
They're using that dog. He can't fight back.
I don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate them trying to take Skippy's identity.
I get it. I get your frustration.
He's
Yeah,
not
and that
Asta. He's not this character. This is just a
No.
role he's playing.
Stop typecasting him. What is he, Christopher Reeve?
It'd be like if Jim Carrey was then in Dumb and Dumber and they credited him as Ace Ventura.
Yeah, not cool.
That would be
Not
amazing.
Cool.
They should do that, man.
I
Mike
could-
Myers should just be credited as Austin Powers and stuff.
No.
Rob Schneider, you're Deuce Bigelow now.
Yeah, that would boost all those movies. Everybody would be like, "Oh, what's going on here?" It'd be a little Andy Kaufman thing going on there.
It's kind of what Larry the Cable Guy does, right? Because it's like Larry the Cable Guy is like not a cable guy in this.
Yeah,
He's like a
it's true.
firefighter.
It's true. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right though. That is very odd. Boy, that dog. I did have a thought about the dog.
Is it that he's very cute?
He's very cute. Very cute. But I was wondering, I'm sure you've wanted this
He's a
before.
little too barky in the second one, I'll be honest.
Yeah, he has a lot to say. That was the part of the improvisation. Dyke was just no. it
They
wasn't
gave him
Dyke,
more
sorry.
lines in that second one. I'm not into
Yeah,
it.
they were just like improvise. Now I'm wondering, do dogs know? Because they're, let's face it, I've always liked to call them one of the smartest dumb animals. And do they know that what's happening is?
They don't know
No.
anything. They don't know who you are. They don't know where they are. They don't know what color looks like. They're thinking about shitting and eating.
Okay, so I think that my question.
What
has been
you're
answered.
perceiving as love is
Right.
nothing like that.
It's need.
It's just hunger.
Yeah, it's hunger. So Skippy was not aware that when action.
But
was
he's pretty
called-
cute, you know.
Right. But Skippy was not aware that he was starring in a motion picture.
I imagine they get these dogs used to being in front of cameras so that
Yeah.
it's not really an interesting thing to them anymore. And then they throw something in the scene. Like the best Asta moments all involve props, if you ask me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but
throw a
sometimes when he
balloon
puts-
at this dog. It's going to do something cute.
Yeah. He goes like this. That's not a prop.
You
He
can't
knows
do
how
that.
to-
This is a recorded medium.
Oh, sorry. I put my hand over my face. He does a lot of covering his eyes with his paws. That's cute.
How long have we been recording a podcast? You're doing visual bits.
Yeah, I sometimes I forget. I'm so in the moment. I'm so excited right now. It's the
Just to
excitement
discuss the
overwhelms me.
film with me.
Yeah, looking forward to it all week.
All right, W.S. He directed this baby. It was written by Albert Hackett and Frances Goodrich. They're a married couple. Wrote a lot of movies.
I liked that when I read that. Yeah.
It's nice. I'm always surprised when I see like any woman in a behind the scenes role on a movie before like 1998.
Yeah, it is. I did take note of that, but I mean, I think it definitely accounts for the little banter between them. So, between Loy and Powell.
You can also credit some of that, I imagine, to the Dashiell Hammett novel that it's based on.
Okay, sure.
Yes, MGM, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. And if I may say, the original MGM Lion is kind of a pussy.
Is he smaller?
No, I just felt like he was a weakling. It was like a little bit of a growl. It was like, welcome. And whereas now the MGM Lion's like, fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah, the MGM Lion now, it'll eat you. You're done. Yeah,
beware the fucking MGM Lion. Yeah. The MGM Lion will take the Mandalay Pictures tiger down.
It'll kill the TriStar unicorn.
Oh my god! And it'll drink its magical blood.
Will it eat the birds in Ridley Scott's free? What is Ridley Scott's production company with free?
Scott Free. Oh, great Scott! Scott Free. Listen.
Scott Free, the little birds. Yeah.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Don't sit around this fucking lion.
Oh, that MGM Lion's having lunch, breakfast, dinner, and an aperitif. Yeah. Yeah, no, it gives a little growl, It's all right. It's a demure lion.
It is. All right, MGM paid $21,000 to Dashiell Hammett for the rights to the Thin Man.
It's like a lot of money back then.
Yeah, and he sold it. Movie went into production at a budget of $226,408. Not every day we know the exact dollar count. $8. What do you think they spent those remaining $3 on?
Dog biscuits, obviously.
Dog biscuits for Asta, yeah, for sure.
Olives for their martinis, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Extra locks for their casting couch rooms. It made at the box office $1.42 million. It was a successful film. Though I only have the top 10 movies of 1934, and it's not on that list.
Oh.
Henry, this film was nominated for quite a few Oscars.
Oh, it was. That's right. I already had another theme song up.
Is it the AFI one? We could do that.
Yes. Let's do that since it's in the interest. And for your dad, here we go. May I call him by his first name?
I think he'd love it.
Well, that's what I call him.
Call him by the familiar Steve.
Well, that's what he asked me to call him in real life many, many years ago. So that's what I'll say. This is for you, Steve. This is the American Film Institute theme.
Mm-hmm.
AFI.
Beautiful. Beautiful stuff.
It's one of our most popular themes.
They have deemed The Thin Man to be the number 32 funniest movie ever made.
Wow.
Yeah?
I mean, it definitely made me laugh.
I laughed a few times.
I'm with you a few times. You know what? I smiled a lot.
I smiled the whole way. I found both of these movies to be delightful.
I agree with you completely. So that's saying something. I am very infrequently smiling frequently through a movie.
Yeah, it wouldn't necessarily make my funniest ranking, but it might make my delightfulness rankings.
Charming,
sure.
Husband and wife banter pre-2007.
Mm-hmm. Sexy, but in the chastest way possible.
Yeah, but a little risque too. This is pre-code. This movie pre-code.
Pre-code.
You knew that,
Are they
right?
getting on pre-code in those separate beds, baby?
Yeah, that was an interesting thing we'll have to mention at some point.
Yeah,
I
we'll
didn't
talk
really
about it.
understand that.
All right, so Oscars, you have that theme up now?
Yeah, we might have to sit through an ad, but
I hope we do.
Oh, Gatorade.
Carbs to fuel and electrolytes to help replenish. Nothing beats Gatorade.
I gotta be honest, nothing does beat Gatorade, especially at a hangover. Oh, this movie was nominated for a lot of stuff. All right, I couldn't get my train of thought going. It was nominated for Best Picture, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
For such a light, gentle comedy, to get a Best Picture nomination, you don't really see that anymore.
No.
But it lost to It Happened One Night, which you'll recall, It Happened One Night, this was a big year. It was the first time that a movie swept all 5 of the major awards.
Oh, picture, director, screenplay, actor, actress?
Correct. So the only other times this has happened is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and The Silence of the Lambs. Yeah. So this is a big deal. So Thin Man got a lot of nominations, but it had no shot.
I always forget about Cuckoo's Nest because I never remember Nicholson winning for that, and I never remember Louise Fletcher winning for that.
Yeah. Of course.
I always feel like Nicholson won for As Good as It Gets and Easy Rider. I never think of him in I always remember, because when Cuckoo's Nest won, the footage they always show is of the producers coming up and Milos Forman and Michael Douglas coming on stage.
Stop trying to impress my dad.
That was for you, Steve. I have a very
Just name
extensive
dropping,
knowledge.
motherfuckers.
I didn't meet them. I don't know them.
All right. It was nominated for Best Director. W.S. Van Dyke. He lost to Frank Capra for It Happened One Night. William Powell was nominated for Best Actor. He lost to Clark Gable for It Happened One Night. It was nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay. Lost to It Happened One Night. And that's it. There you go. The Thin Man.
Now, is there a sequel to It Happened One Night called After It Happened One Night?
That'd be good. It happened the second night.
Another night.
Give me one more night. Una noche. You remember that song?
Nope.
I think it's by 98 Degrees.
Well, of course it is.
You recall 98 Degrees, Henry?
I do.
Name the members of 98 Degrees. Go.
Is one of them the one who went to space?
No, that's Lance
That's
Bass
NSYNC.
from NSYNC.
NSYNC. NSYNC. I caught it. I caught myself before you said
All
it.
right.
98 Degrees was the guy on with Jessica Simpson.
Yes. What's his name?
Hey, I don't know, but that was pretty good.
It's not good enough.
Oh, fuck off. Chicken of the Sea.
Chicken of the Sea.
Yeah, that was her thing, Jessica Simpson.
Oh,
on
that's
MTV.
right. Yeah, she didn't know whether tuna was chicken. That is good
Honestly-
stuff, man.
Honestly, she's not a marine biologist. Why would you expect? Why would she have to know that?
Yeah, her whole job was singing over John Mellencamp samples.
And lip syncing to her own pre-recorded vocals. Give me a break.
That's her
man.
sister.
Oh, Ashley Simpson.
Yeah.
I just meant in general that whole generation kind of did a lot of that.
Your
Britney.
generation did too. Shut the fuck up. You're from the Milli Vanilli generation, bro.
I'm a Gen Xer.
Yeah. My dad's generation, listen, they would sing whatever they wanted to. Sha-na na. They weren't singing over tracks. They weren't lip syncing. They were getting up there and singing in 5-part harmony. Do-do-dum-dum-wah.
You singing the fucking song from Three Men and a Baby. I love it. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go.
Do-do-dum-dum-wah.
Good night. I gotta confess, Dan, I like doing our duets. It's fun sometimes.
Beautiful stuff. All right, let's talk about it. This film starts with an inventor. What?
Ooh, we have a top 10 of the 1930s.
Oh, you want to get into that? Yeah, we can. I
Well,
guess.
that we should get it out of the way before we begin.
Well,
the movie.
yeah, we decided the 30s. We're breaking open a new decade. let's, before we talk about the Thin Man movies, rank the top 10 movies of the 1930s that we have seen.
Yeah, this wasn't easy for me, folks, but I managed to squeak one more on there to reach 10. So how's that? And I did not go through the 18,000 that came out in that decade. That's an accurate number. So Dan has, of course, beaten me, but
It's not a
we're just
matter
doing
of
10.
beating. It's a top 10 list.
Yeah, but I wanted to come up with 10. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you did.
I did. I just.
What's
made
your
it.
number 10?
Okay, I think this movie's a complete piece of shit.
Oh, God.
What?
You have movies on there that you don't like?
Actually, only one. Only this one.
Okay. Let's talk about it.
That happens when you haven't seen a lot. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? It's considered a classic and one of the greatest movies of all time. I think it's an overly long, racist piece of shit.
No,
with
it's
terrible
Gone with the
acting.
Wind.
That's right. That movie sucks.
Yeah, it does. It does suck.
Nothing good about that movie.
It's nowhere
Nothing
near
good
my top 10 list. There's
Yeah, it's
nothing
not-
good about it. What about, frankly, dear, I don't give a damn.
Yeah, Clark
Is
Gable.
it, that's got to be on the AFI best quotes list.
Oh, 100%. It's probably number one.
Could be.
Probably like number one put down.
Yeah. It's like E.T. Phone Home and then that.
Yeah, E.T.'s a little bit better than Gone with the Wind.
It's a lot better.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
All right, H-Dog. My number 10's another 1939 classic. I used to have a beef with this movie. I was against its canonization, but I turned the corner at a certain point. There was one night, a friend who was a girl invited me to see this movie in a park outside. And
Okay.
I just thought it was going to be us sitting on the floor watching this movie. But I showed up. She was wearing this sexy green dress. And she had a friend there. And it seemed like the friend's whole job was to facilitate us hooking up. And I was like, why'd you go through all this trouble? You could have shown up in sweatpants
Yep.
and said, do you want to fuck me right now?
Right. No need for the facilitation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
No.
part of the night out involved us watching The Wizard of Oz. And, beautiful summer night, knowing I was about to get laid. It felt good. And it's my number 10.
That's a fun experience. Yeah, you were off to see the wizard.
Good one.
All right. Number 9. Actually, it is something we're covering tonight. That is After the Thin Man.
You have the sequel on the list.
I do.
Okay.
I do.
My number 9 is, listen, I always say there's no good Robin Hood movies, but there's kind of one good Robin Hood movie.
Errol Flynn, are we talking, huh?
That's a good movie. The Adventures of Robin Hood. Errol Flynn, very fun.
All
It's
right,
everything that the Kevin Costner movie isn't.
Right, yeah. I don't believe I ever saw that.
It's a good time.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Number 8 is a movie by the vaunted French auteur Renoir. And this movie bored the living shit out of me 24 years ago. But, it's a good movie. It's about class division.
Rules
yada,
of the
yada,
game.
yada.
I've never seen it.
Can I say my own list, please? Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Je ne sais pas. Non, ce n'est pas moi. The rules of the game.
Great. My number 8, Henry, and it's a Marx Brothers movie, and I could put 5 Marx Brothers movies on
I
this
know.
list.
I like that. That's a big deficit in my. I've only seen like parts and clips and long. I've never watched. I don't think I've ever watched one all the way through. Continue. Sorry. Yes.
But anyway, I only felt it absolutely necessary for me to include 2. So the first one is my number 8, A Night at the Opera.
Okay. All right. I wanted to ask you if you've seen one in particular, but I guess I'll wait because you have another one on there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Number 7 for me is The Thin Man.
Henry, my number 7, this whole list could be Alfred Hitchcock movies, but I've edited myself and included 2. And so here's the first one of those. My number 7 is his very, very British, The 39 Steps.
Ah, yes. That's one of me ma's favorite movies.
Oh. We have that in common. I mean, it's not
You
one of
know-
my favorite movies, but it's very good.
You know she's a huge Hitchcock fan. It's her favorite guy. Seen everything.
I don't know if we've ever talked about that. Maybe next time.
Really? You
Yeah.
and her?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's her favorite. All right, number 6. Dan is gonna roll his eyes, but might be impressed in a weird way. Although it's hard to impress Dan. So Steve, this is for you and our listeners. All right, everyone knows on this show I love The Aviator. I love that movie so much it got me curious about what kind of filmmaker Howard Hughes actually was. So when I worked at Barnes & Noble, I actually bought the DVD of Hell's Angels.
That's a movie that Howard Hughes made,
Yes.
and it's good.
Well, here's the thing. There are sequences in this movie that are absolutely astonishing and mind-blowing. I mean, the aerial shit that gets done in this movie for the time, or for any time, really.
Well,
is
all you need for that is good
amazing.
pilots,
Okay, and good camera
and then you
work.
train a camera on them.
Right.
Throw some music over it. That's how you make a movie.
Right, because it's like the Weather Channel. You know, you just put a camera somewhere and look at a helicopter flying.
Yeah, those are
No.
good shots.
Yeah, they are. Thanks. It's a very good movie. The love story is not very good, but Hell's Angels is pretty fucking badass and pretty cool. I didn't expect much when I watched it, and I was wrong. It's a very, very cool movie. Hell's Angels. That's 2 on my list you haven't seen.
How many Katharine Hepburn
Yeah.
movies did you watch after The Aviator?
None. I'm not a fan of her.
No. Do you think you're only not a fan of her because that Cate Blanchett performance
No,
is so goddamn annoying?
I've seen Katharine Hepburn in movies before that. Jesus Christ, we kind of...
What about Bringing Up Baby starring Asta?
She's, Katharine Hepburn's just too fucking mannered for me, which was one of the things in The Thin Man that I loved about the acting. That I was worried I'd be in for a lot of that stuff, and after The Thin Man has some of it.
There's a little, yeah, agreed. There's way more of it in the second one.
Yeah, but no, Katharine Hepburn's got a whole shtick, and I don't like it. Not a fan. Anyway, Hell's Angels, number 6.
My number 6 is the other Marx Brothers movie on my list, Duck Soup.
Okay, I wanted to ask you about The Great Dictator. You've seen it?
That's not a Marx Brothers movie. That's by Charlie Chaplin.
Charlie Chaplin. As it was coming out of my mouth, I realized that immediately. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any Chaplin?
Are you impressed, Dad? You impressed with Henry's great film knowledge, huh?
I have no retort to that.
I'm not a Charlie Chaplin
Fair.
fan. Modern Times I considered for this list, but I like all 10 of these more.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
It's like a little much. Come on, tramp. Put your fucking cane away.
No, I'm not into a lot of that stuff either. Like the floppity doo and the walking sideways funny and the
Yeah.
yeah. But I always wanted to see The Great Dictator because it took a lot of balls for him to make that.
Yeah,
movie when
sure.
he did it.
It's good. That one's all right. It's interesting.
All right, no, give me a Marx Brothers recommendation right now.
Duck Soup.
1, Duck Soup. If I had
Yeah.
to watch 1.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, number 5, Henry. What's number 5?
Well, that'll come right after this.
Heavy hitters.
Oh.
These the
Right.
grand slams, the slap shots, the 3-pointers, the touchdowns, the curling when the puck gets close to the circle. These are the heavy hitters of the franchise. Heavy hitter.
All right, I saw this movie a long time ago. It's really awesome. Charles Lawton, Maureen O'Hara, I want to say, The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah, okay. I've never seen that.
Yeah. Why are you laughing at all my choices?
It's cute. It's cute watching you talk about these movies.
Why? Oh, it's cute watching the Luddite.
Yeah.
Who doesn't know anything about 1930s movies. Look, fuck you. You've seen 25 movies in the 30s. I've seen 10.
Something like that, yeah.
What does that make you, Andrew Saris? Get
Here,
the-
my number 5, a movie Henry's never seen, is the original King Kong.
I'm pretty sure I haven't seen it, but I also don't like to fib. If I could have seen it and then been like, yeah, I saw that, but I don't remember.
Hey, Henry.
Yeah.
'Twas beauty killed the beast.
Now, King Kong, what's that about?
Monkey. Big one.
Monkey. Something about he's on a building. Is it the Chrysler building?
I'll tell you what, they've got a great, they put him up on a stage. Everybody pays money to go out to the theater to see a monkey in a cage. I don't know what kind of a show they're expecting, but they're pumped to be there. It's a night out. But they get more than they bargained for, because this monkey, he breaks free. He takes the hot lady. He feels her up. He climbs a building. And shot
World Trade Center.
by helicopters.
The World Trade Center.
Empire State Building.
Pretty sure it's the World Trade Center.
I'm pretty sure the World Trade Center didn't exist in 1933.
Pretty sure it was built in 1841.
What? What are you talking about?
I'm just kidding. It was built in like the 70s.
Yes. I knew I was right about that.
I think late 60s. But yeah. That's the Empire State Building, folks. I was intentionally being dumb. All
Intentionally?
right. Yeah. Yeah, I know that the World Trade Center was a fucking joke.
Henry's facade of intelligence is really slipping this episode.
It's so funny how much Dan's trying to get under my skin. Just ain't working, baby. It's Teflon time, baby. It's Teflon time tonight. For H-Dog. That's all it is right now.
What's number 4, H-Dog?
All right. Number 4 is, I'm actually with Dan on this. I didn't have quite the amazing experience he did, but I grew up with this movie, loved it, and then kind of turned a corner where I thought it was shite. It's not shite. It's a great movie. Come on. The Wizard of Oz.
Sure, of course. My number 4 is my favorite Hitchcock of the 30s, and that is The Lady Vanishes.
Yes. All right. My number 3, I still think this is a contender maybe for the best movie from this company of this era ever made, but I don't know. That is Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
That's my number 3.
Whoa. One similar. That's crazy.
That's the best.
Right?
That's the best for a while. Yeah, the early ones, he did Fantasia and Pinocchio in the 40s. Those are great. And Dumbo, too.
Sure, they're all great, but there's something about Snow White, man. That shit, I think it even when I was a kid, it scared me.
Because it's the first one. They really put their hearts
dark.
And souls into it. And you can see it.
Yeah, and they got that nice song. That's when Disney wrote nice songs like Someday My Prince Will Come.
What are you talking about? They still write very nice songs. What about Happy by Pharrell?
That's a great point.
I don't think that's Disney, actually.
But, then in Pinocchio, we get When You Wish
What
Upon
about
a Star.
Can You Feel the Love Tonight?
Please don't.
Hakuna Matata. Okay?
God, I wish Alan Menken and fucking...
You've got a friend in me.
I wish that Menken and Weber would just go off on a Titanic and just never come back. And just cease and desist.
I think you're being a hater. I really do.
You're right. I think you're right. I with honor.
Under the sea. Under the sea. It's Sting, right? That song. Dad, I know you didn't get that joke. It was a callback to an earlier episode that you didn't listen to.
But it was a Police reference, really. So yeah. Under the sea, waiting for me and all and sun.
Irie. Okay.
Irie, man. Nah, number 2. This movie is haunting and bizarre and dark and fucking great. And I believe I've only seen 2 of this director's movies. This one is great, and that is Fritz Lang's M.
That's my number 2.
Damn.
We're lining up, but I'm pretty sure you haven't seen my number 1. So what's yours?
I'm pretty sure you haven't seen mine. The best movie of the 1930s for me, I get that I've seen, of the 10 I've seen probably, I'd have to say is still All Quiet on the Western Front.
I haven't seen that. Yeah, you're right. I know. I should have seen that. My dad's going to be disappointed.
It's a great movie about World War I, and I honestly don't think there has been that many besides Paths of Glory.
Because it's a fucking shitty war. Who cares about World War I? World War II has panache. It's got villains. It's got pathos. It's got an amazing ending involving nuclear war.
Wow. Okay. That's a. I mean, that's a.
It's got
that's a hot
harsher
take.
deaths.
That's a. It's. It's a hot take.
Yeah.
Hot take spoken of complete ignorance of.
What
the
does
history
World
of
War One have? Franz Ferdinand, a few trenches.
Yeah, that's kind of all. You're right. That's kind of all that was. That's all that was going on there. Yeah, yeah. Steve, I'm sorry.
Who
about
even gives a
your
shit?
son. I'm sorry about your son. Sometimes I can't really. I try to help, but I can only do so much. So what's your
Listen,
number
it's
one?
like the Terminator movies. Like the Terminator, it works well within its genre, like World War One. But then Terminator 2 just had so many ideas, so much going on. And it's more accessible to a mainstream audience because the villain,
The
it's
villains
heroes
are very
versus
clear-cut.
villains. Yeah.
They're very clear cut in World War II.
Mhm.
There's no nebulous villains in World War II. We will always be grateful for that.
Well, there's us with the Japanese internment camps, but other than that,
nebulous good guys, no nebulous bad guys.
true. I guess we were sort of like an anti-hero. We're a real Walter White.
Wow. The United States was the Walter White of World War II. I like it.
My number one is Todd Browning's insane follow-up to Dracula Freaks.
Oh, I fucking knew that was coming. Yeah. Everybody loves that fucking movie.
Because it's
man.
weird. It's just nothing like anything they were doing at the time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I imagine the fucking cover freaked me out, man. I don't think I'd enjoy that.
No,
movie.
I think you would, man. It's
Really?
yeah. I mean, it's hard to get past all the. I mean, we are just like throwing like deformed human beings on screen, and look how fucking weird they are.
Right,
But
right.
it has an actual plot and like a mystery, and it works.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Freaks, the best movie of the decade.
That's right. But let's talk about The Thin Man, which, could have been on the list. I didn't want to include it just because
Yeah,
we're
you
going to talk
didn't.
about it today. But I do love this movie. Let's start with it. It starts with an inventor. We're 40 minutes into this goddamn podcast. I feel like we're going to be talking about these movies forever.
I already noticed that. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we can move it a clip when we do. I mean, the plot is.
Let's banter.
We don't. What's? Did you say less banter?
Let's banter.
Let's banter. The plot is so convoluted. It's not like we're going to go through every measure of that.
No, there's like a million red herrings. All of these movies, like the middle of the movie doesn't matter whatsoever. It's like
Yeah,
the first
you're right.
act, we set up the mystery and we meet all the characters who could either be knocked off or be the killer. And then the second act is just Nick and Nora sitting around bantering and drinking and doing absolutely nothing of note.
Yeah.
And which is fine by me. I like how leisurely these movies are.
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, they're loaded with money. They don't really have anything to do.
She's loaded with money,
Well, I mean, now
which
that
I
they're
found
married.
kind of interesting.
Yeah, she's like an heiress.
Yeah.
And he just kind of, but it's great because they really love each other, and he makes jokes about it throughout the whole movie, but self-consciously making jokes about her. I am retired now. I don't have to work because I married you, and she thinks it's funny, and he thinks it's funny, and it works, and
They delight each other.
they delight each other, and they drink to the point of incapacitation. There's so much drinking in these
They
movies.
pass out, because it's not the kind of thing that they drink constantly with no consequences. It just seems like in 1934 it was a regular thing to drink constantly, pass out for a few hours, and then reemerge into the world
and drink more.
and immediately drink more.
Immediately. Yeah, no, it's true. And this was right 1934, so this is right after Prohibition. So it would have been legal in this time, but even if it was illegal, something tells me they would have gotten their drinks anyway.
Yeah, come on. This guy, William Powell, he would have found a way.
Oh, he's incredible. Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, go ahead.
There's Wynant. Let's talk about him. He's an inventor. He's a tinkerer. I like this. Now you see inventors, they're on computers. Back then, they had, like, copper wire and shit.
Yeah. My next invention is going to be amazing. It's going to be a black thread put through the eye of a wooden needle, which will then produce a clock that will tell the time 4 minutes into the future.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really piss poor idea, but with a pretty good impression.
Good stuff. The Simpsons once had a joke about how the only good inventions in the last 30 years have just been putting clocks on things.
That's a good joke. Very true.
Good
Yeah,
line.
no, his inventions, I would have kind of liked to have known a little bit more about Mr. Winant's inventions. I wanted to know what he had invented. Obviously, I imagine he invented some alcohol-type products like sifters that maybe can self-refill.
And snifters.
Yeah, I'm really nailing it tonight on the
Mhm.
vocab. Something happens to me on this show where I lose.
I feel like you
confidence.
feel the presence of my father looming over you.
Like, what am I, Skywalker to his Vader?
No, it's
cover-
like you're like a head chef in a restaurant, and
yeah.
somebody walks in, you're like, oh my god, that's the restaurant critic for the New York Times.
Even though I know that there's all these other listeners in the world listening right
Yeah,
now.
and my father has literally never listened to a podcast. He has nothing to judge this against.
Right. Well, neither did I. So that's. But yeah. All right. Anyway. All right. So I did get confused in the very beginning of the movie, and I got a little worried that this would be a problem. I got confused in the very start because of the way the characters dress and talk and act, and I had never really seen William Powell and Myrna Loy before. When the couple that walks into the inventor's warehouse,
You thought it was them?
Yeah. And
Well, look, it's
it took me like 5 minutes to figure out, okay, that's not them. And the girl looks very much like Myrna Loy. So that was weird.
I don't know about
a little
that.
bit.
But I had a little bit of a problem with that in the second one, actually, because there's the head police inspector had a similar mustache to William Powell.
Yeah, those stupid little pencil mustaches.
Because everyone wore the same shit back then.
Yeah, and the fedoras and the black and white doesn't
Can
help.
someone wear a goddamn t-shirt? It's like back then
T-shirt.
you cut to rednecks. It's like now, if they made a Friday the 13th movie in the 30s, they'd stop at the gas station, the scary gas station attendant, I wouldn't go down that way.
Wearing a
But
tie.
yeah, now we'd just be wearing a suit and tie, perfectly fucking coiffed with gel in his hair.
Yeah, it's true. Suits that's all they had. I used to wear a fedora. Did you know my fedora days? Or had I stopped
Jesus
that?
Christ.
I
I'm
did
glad
that.
I didn't know you during those days.
Oh, you just missed me. I did that a lot in New York.
I bought a fedora once, and I never wore it out. I was like, I think I'm going to wear a fedora. And I ordered it online, and it came, and I put it on, and I was like, I don't look good.
Oh, I look great. Somebody used
You
to call
don't.
me. Yeah, I did.
No one
And
looks good in a fedora.
Somebody used to call me. I worked with called me.
Except
the
for
detective.
Usher. The detective,
Yeah, they call me, hey, detective.
like Perry Mason.
I didn't think of that. I wanted to be more a cool detective,
Who's a cool detective? Batman?
Perry Mason and Matthew Reeves is pretty cool. Batman. No, we already had a Batman who was a customer. Remember, we had Batman.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that guy. Yeah. All right. Let's do it. What's happening? So you mentioned the couple coming in. The inventor. He's got a daughter, and the daughter is introducing him to her new fiance. And they seem trustworthy at first. We like her. She's nice. She calls her dad darling, which is kind of cute. And the dude seems all right, too. He asks him for his permission. When William Powell walks in, he's making jokes. He gets the jokes. I'm always on the lookout in these movies. If somebody doesn't have a good enough sense of humor, they might be the villain.
Ah, okay.
Listen,
Does
this
that
is a
apply in these
to comedies. William Powell and Myrna Loy, we're supposed to love these characters, so all the characters that we're supposed to love also have to love them.
Yeah, that's very true. That's true. Yeah.
I'm giving you mystery tips.
I appreciate that 1930s mystery tips.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Nick comes in 10 minutes into the movie. Honestly, it's too much before Nick comes in. It should start with Nick and Nora.
Yeah, it is a little
A
weird,
little
and
too much preamble.
her too. I mean, they come in the same sequence, but her as well. Her entrance in the movie.
Right, they're sort of in a ballroom, a hotel ballroom. Because
Yeah, what?
another odd
Where
thing,
are they?
another odd thing about this movie is they're on vacation. Like they live in California, but this movie takes place in New York. Sort
Yeah.
of like Neil Simon's The Out of Towners, but with more
Very-
murder.
Right. Yeah, it is strange, and I actually really found it great though. There was something gave me a little bit of a warm feeling that in the 1930s New York was like a real viable vacation
It's a
destination.
tourist
Like
destination.
it was exotic. Like people still go to New York for vacations and trips, but like back then that was like an exotic trip.
But they didn't do shit. They hung out
Not
in that
Easter.
hotel room the whole
Not
time.
Easter.
They even had a Christmas party in the hotel room.
Yeah. Which really looks like their apartment. I mean, it's very lived in. That made it a little more confusing too.
It's
I was
clearly
"Eh."
like the penthouse suite, man.
Yeah, man. Jesus Christ.
It's even
Yeah,
got
they-
2 beds.
it's got which they refused to share.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. At the end of the movie, they fuck, and they're like, finally, some alone time. And I'm like, you guys have been alone, like, the whole time, just not touching.
Yeah. I want everything that they have in a relationship, but I would like to include some sex.
Yeah. But you would take the dog.
I said everything.
Yeah,
Sure.
everything.
Yeah,
I know
ask
what you mean, man. You're retired. This guy's retired. I know he's investigating this mystery, but it's only because it turns out he knows the girl. So what happens is the dad, the inventor guy, he goes missing. And the daughter comes to Nick, and he's like, find my dad, all right? And then later he turns up dead. But first they think he's a murderer because other people are turning up dead. That's the plot of the movie.
Yeah, exactly. And the lawyer is a character, the lawyer who's like the middleman of giving money.
You're saying that because he's the killer, but I felt as it is a satisfying ending because there's the whole parlor room scene and it goes on for 15 fucking minutes and
Yeah,
it's
no,
just
that's actually not why I was saying it. I was just trying to name some of the other tertiary characters, and I just started with
I
him 'cause
wouldn't
he's
have
one of the
even
first people you
remembered
see.
I wouldn't have even remembered that character though if he didn't turn out to be the killer.
Oh, no, I would have, because he has that funny scene in the beginning where he's talking to Winan as he's going up the freight elevator, and he keeps going up, and he's like, well, how do I reach you? You don't tell me anything. Where are you going to be? What do I do with the business? And then it's like Macaulay, he keeps coming back over and over again. And I will tell you, this is another signature of this movie's, the way it kind of gets you. I definitely found myself totally stumped as to who this murderer was going to be. I didn't know. I had suspicions of other characters, and when it turned out to be the lawyer, I was very surprised. I
Well,
did
these
not see-
movies don't really help you along much. There are clues and stuff, but a lot of it is just like William Powell kind of wandering through life and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden getting like an aha moment and
Yeah,
calling
it's
the
an
entire
epiphany.
cast together.
Yeah, very Colonel Mustard and the very going on there with the end here.
Yes, and you know
Yeah,
that
everybody-
appeals to me, man.
Yeah. I didn't expect that in the movie. I didn't know it was going to be that kind of movie. They do the same thing in the sequel where they get everybody together in a room and just he does a whole post psycho scene where he just explains the entire thing. But that's fine because I think I needed it explained. It's very
No. It's necessary.
Columbo.
It is very Columba, but it's cool. I like
Yeah,
that, and I like that it came back in the second one. I hope it's a convention that stays through all 6.
Yeah, I can't imagine that it wouldn't be. But I did like the reveal of how he discovers that Winan has not been missing and has not killed anyone. I mean, that was very creative.
But
He-
again, it's not something we were privy to. It's just
No.
like Nick knew something.
Well, but there is a scene where
He's got
shows-
shin splints.
Yeah, he sees an X-ray, if I recall, and he sees shrapnel.
Oh, that was set up. Oh, you're right. I remember noticing that and feeling like that seems like an extraneous detail.
Yeah, that's why I noticed it. I mean, they're looking at an X-ray, which first of all, I kept trying to remember when was the first X-ray invented, and I remembered I think it was like in the 1880s or some shit. But anyway, 1930. So yeah, he's looking at the X-rays and he sees that there's shrapnel in there because Wynant was in the war that Dan doesn't think was really a war, World War One.
It's a fine war. It was just so far outdone by the sequel.
It's a fine war. That's a great title for a World War One movie.
A fine
It's
war.
a fine war.
Yeah. Stephen Frears would direct it.
Yeah, and then the World War II movie would be called Another Fine War.
Pretty good, man.
After the fine war.
Mm-hmm.
All right, anyway, so yeah, Nick realizes, oh, wait a minute, that's not an anonymous person's body. That is not a fat man because they thought it was a fat man's body because he was put in oversized clothes. It's actually a thin man. The thin man of the movie is Wynant, and he just has to discover who killed him. They do the way he explains it is fascinating. It still didn't quite make me understand the lawyer Macaulay his true reason. I mean, is his reason that he's just embezzling money from this guy? That's all it is.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so, right?
Yeah, that's it. He's
Taking his
just
patents or whatever.
Yeah, he's just embezzling the dude's money, and Wynant was silly enough to trust this lawyer.
Lawyers, phooey.
Phooey. But look, if we're wrapping up that
We're
plot-
not wrapping up. I have so much more to say. You jumped
sounded
us
like
to
you-
the end.
No, you did. I wasn't. You went right to Macaulay and said he was the killer. I was just mentioning characters. Go ahead, talk.
All right, Henry.
Take your notes. Let's read your notes.
I'm reading my notes.
No, I meant that in a good way. You said you had a lot of notes.
I do.
Let's hear your
So,
notes.
just beyond the setup, I want to talk about the middle portion where like the mystery is happening. So the setup goes on for like probably 25, 30 minutes. But then what happens is the secretary is murdered.
Right. Who's that again? Which
The inventor has a secretary who's also his lover.
Oh, Julia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
blonde.
like how she's set up earlier in the movie when the daughter's introducing her fiance to the dad, and the fiance goes, "Why'd your mother divorce him? I think he's swell." And then
Yes.
and the daughter responds, "It seems he has a secretary." I like
was
that.
good.
I like the daughter
great.
knowing so much about her dad's sex life, and it sets up that character who's going to be murdered.
And that the daughter understands her own family's really fucked up, so she shows like zero animosity to her dad for even having an affair with this woman.
Totally.
He has a secretary on the side. It's a side piece.
My
It's
dad
cool.
needed some strange. He had to get his dick wet.
Which
All
was
right.
even funnier because Wynant looks like he's 88 years old. And
Yeah,
when
he's a
I was
real like absent-minded professor type.
and old looking. So I was like, wait, he's having an affair. Okay. All right.
All right, so Nick and Nora, they mostly just hang out and squabble and get along. Nora is more a part of this movie than she is in the second one. And if I have a big complaint about the second one, it's that I feel like Nick was constantly finding excuses to do shit without her.
Yeah, he was.
And I prefer it when it's the two of them.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know why that decision was made, but yeah, it's
The
true.
platonic ideal of Thin Man scenes is the two of them talking about nothing and Asta sitting in the corner popping balloons.
Yeah, he only pops one balloon.
But it's
you're
my
right.
favorite moment in the entire movie.
Really?
It's so much so that I watched this movie like a year ago, Henry,
Yeah.
and I remembered it. I was waiting for it. Like, I put this movie on, and my first thought was like, all right, when's Asta going to pop that balloon?
Oh my God. Asta does so much cool shit though. I didn't.
But
find
it's
the
so
balloon-
cute. He's like pushing it around, then it pops. Oops.
You know, one thing I don't think I could really ever figure out in either of the movies, Is Asta, whose dog originally was Asta?
Oh, that's a great question. I think it's hers.
That's what I think, but they almost make it feel like it's his.
Well, I think they're co-parenting the dog at this point, Henry.
I think you're right. It's a co-parenting job, but he seems much closer to Asta. He seems like he's got this kind of.
Well, boys and their dogs, you know.
Yeah, it's true. It's good. Man's best friend, right? Not
Man's
woman.
best friend. That's right. Great movie.
Ellen Barkin.
All right. So they have the Christmas party. Let's talk about that. And then
That's
all
good.
of a sudden, this family, they all start individually showing up at the Christmas party to say, like, this guy's a murderer. I'm not a murderer. You know, whatever. There's a lot of squabbling. It's good. There's good chemistry between that family cast, too.
Yes.
I liked the weird douchebag brother.
The brother, which one, dude? The one who's obsessed with criminals and psychoanalysis. And
Oh, that
serial
was good,
killers?
too, but I was thinking of the other one.
Oh, the other douchebag.
Yeah.
Cesar Romero, that brother.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was him while I was watching it, but I guess it was.
Yeah,
He'll be in your
he's the
superhero
one who-
count, huh?
Yeah, he is. He's the kind of the shade. He's, I believe, the shadier one. Right, the guy's a little quick to anger. That
Yes,
brother.
yeah, exactly. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
All right, so Nora walks in on Nick talking to the daughter of the inventor, and I love Nora. She'll give a look like, excuse me, but she doesn't actually care.
Because she knows.
Yeah.
that her husband's
They're
loyal.
just so tight. Yeah, I've
They're
never been in
tight.
a relationship like that where both of us were just 100% certain that
Yeah.
nothing's gonna happen, baby.
I love it. Yeah,
Mhm.
I love it. It's really, really unique. It's a great thing, especially in this like era where it feels like adultery was kind of like a big deal in the movies. Like everyone had in every movie. It's in the 30s and 40s. Everybody had like a girl on the side or
Yeah.
a man on the side. You
A
know, and here
Gumar.
Yeah. And these two are just for each other. That's it.
They love each other.
You
So
just- yeah.
William Powell goes, I used to bounce her on my knee. And Nora responds, which knee? Can I touch it? It's a good joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good jokes in this movie. Yeah.
Hmm. And then later, Nora finds Nick hugging the daughter, and they make like the same like cute face at each other, like
Oh, Nick and Nora do?
They make very cute faces. These two,
They do. And
they're so charming.
Dan is smitten.
And Myrna
Yeah.
Loy's cute, man.
She is. She's
I
something
mean, I know
else.
she's like, being chewed up by maggots at this point, but at the time, what a beautiful woman.
What a wonderful way to remember Myrna Loy. She was actually, I read about her a little bit. She was a hell of a person, too.
I know. I knew if you read about her, you'd be impressed because she is like really like the first female like famous liberal.
Yeah, she's like an activist.
Yeah.
Big
I mean, in
time.
terms of like Hollywood liberals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big activist. William Powell, he just was, what a tragic.
Listen.
Did you read that?
Let's talk about William Powell.
Jesus, this poor
He comes
bastard.
to Hollywood with, who was it, Gene Seberg or something?
No. His second wife was Jean Harlow.
Oh, who's the
His
first wife?
I don't remember her name, but she died
She dies at 26. Okay.
in a plane crash, I think.
Oh, that's the first wife, right? The first wife, they get divorced. A couple years later, she dies in a plane crash. Okay. Second wife,
I didn't know they were divorced when she died. I thought she died.
they were
while they married.
divorced. They were divorced. But
Okay.
then his
Still.
second wife, while they're still married, suddenly dies at the age of 26.
Jean Harlow.
Here's what I have to say about Nick here. I think we got to
Here
get
we
a real
go.
life Nick and Nora on the case. I think this guy's a wife murderer. I don't trust
There'd be
it
a-
one bit.
There'd be a Netflix special.
Check the black box on that airplane.
Let me tell you something. Jean Harlow is one of those people. I think they've been doing endless fucking mysteries. How did she really die? And then it's like you read about it, it's like she died of fucking kidney failure. She's like ate something. It's fucking 1920 something. Of course, she just died.
William
You
Powell.
don't buy it, huh? You don't buy it.
I don't know if I trust it, man.
But then he had his other wife, his third wife, lived. They were together until 1984, and he died a pretty awful death too.
He killed himself.
No, he didn't.
Oh, I'm thinking of somebody else. How'd he die?
Like just some kind of kidney failure, terrible, not pleasant way to go.
But do you know about W.S. Van Dyke?
No. Go ahead. I don't remember. Go ahead. I don't think I did.
Not
his death. No.
He was a Christian Scientist, Henry.
Great.
Okay, so he would not accept any medication of any kind. And in his final years, he was only in his early 50s. He was wasting away of probably the flu. And he wrote letters to his family members and his bosses at the studio, and he killed himself.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Mm-hmm. Thanked him. He said, no ill will, but seems it's my time.
Listen, everybody. I wanted to live a long life, but I got a spider bite, and I couldn't put any medicine on it. Couldn't get it seen. I'm just gonna let it get septic, and it's gonna go. It's gonna infect my whole body. But there's nothing I can do about it. It would be against the laws of my religion. But you know what's not against the laws of my religion?
Mm-hmm.
Suicide.
See, I wondered about that, Henry. Is he now going to hell, or are the Christian Scientists different about that sort of thing?
I don't
Maybe
know.
they don't believe in hell. They don't believe in any science. Wait, hell's not science.
Hell's not science. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, Henry.
Seems a little suspect to me, WS.
I don't trust any of these Thin Man people.
Maybe he didn't die and came back again as Paul W.S. Anderson.
Oh, please, well, then I'm a big fan of his.
Now, you already are, so...
Yeah. All right, well, then what happens? What happens is, one of the interesting things is Nick really doesn't have that much interest in the case, and Nora's the one that wants him to do it.
Yes.
I feel like the cinematic cliche has become the wife like trying to get her husband to stay away from the line of danger. I found it interesting that this is one where the woman, like, because they live these retired lives of leisure, and then Nora is just, she says to him, wouldn't you like to do a little detecting once in a while for fun?
Yeah.
And that might as well be the thesis statement of this movie. I bet that was in the trailer.
It's a little bit like Manhattan Murder Mystery, where you got like the woman, the wife.
Well, probably that's a little like this.
Obviously.
Woody Allen, loves this shit.
Of course he does. Yeah. But yeah, it is cool to see that. It would have been neat though. I mean, I can't ask too much. It's 1934. But it would have been cool to see. I was sort of expecting Nora to be kind of part of figuring out the case.
No, I'm so sorry,
really
Henry.
not.
That's too much to ask.
That's a little bit much. She's just kind of ornamental. To
she can have agency, but she can't have thoughts.
Yeah, it's pretty much Nick completely figuring out every detail.
She doesn't even know it going into the parlor scene. Like,
No, that's right.
Yeah, she's hanging on to his every word.
That's the one thing, although maybe it creates the sexual tension for their 3-year tantric orgasm
on the train.
Yeah. That, God, he'd be infuriating to be with, right? Because she's like, wouldn't you be like, if you were Nora, just be like, can you just fucking tell me?
Yeah,
so I can do it.
He really is like the fucking smartest man in the room.
I can't wait. Well, hold on 1 second, baby. One more martini won't kill you. All she wants to do is know who can. He never tells her anything.
Just give me a name. Yeah. All right? You don't need to tell me the whole story. I'll wait for that.
Man, woman. I might be shot.
Initials. How about initials?
Am I seated at the right angle? Am I going to die when you reveal to a table of 14?
You know, she almost does die. We didn't talk about the scene where a gunman comes into their bedroom.
Morelli.
Yeah, and you know, in attempting to shield Nora from being shot at, he punches her in the face and knocks her out.
That was crazy.
What the fuck was that?
I thought, honestly, when he did that,
just push her down.
I honestly did think when he did that, it was like to distract and the guy with the gun to be like, whoa, what is he doing? Like that kind of thing.
Well,
like
if that was the plan, and I think you're being kind, then it's a good one.
Like in Speed, when Keanu Reeves shoots Jeff Daniels in the leg, and it throws off Dennis Hopper, like he doesn't know what to do then if he's going to shoot his own partner.
Right. Good one, man. Speed.
You like that?
We've covered it. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
No problem, bro. All right. What happens? All right, I'm done. Oh, I wrote more stuff about how Nora makes cute faces on the phone.
They sing Christmas carols.
Yeah.
There's a big fat guy weeping, calling his mom.
I liked that guy
in San Francisco, right?
Yeah. At one point, there's a newspaper boy who's like extra. I enjoyed that.
Oh yeah, there's everything you could possibly think or want should be in a 1930s movie is in this movie.
And then the party starts at the end with 15 minutes, a full 15 minutes to go. Like they're really gonna do this.
Yeah. I noticed that when I was watching it. I was like,
and you could tell, like, oh, this is the end. Yeah. It's almost like in like Scream when they show up at like the party at the end. It's like, all right, baby, let's wrap this bad boy up. That's right. I referenced Scream. So right at the end, they get on the train. They're going on a cross country train trip. And they're with the daughter and the fiance from the inventor couple. And then they finally leave, and they go fuck, and Asta covers his eyes. It's very cute. Yeah. You know, I think it's a really tight movie, too. I appreciated greatly the 90 minutes. There's really, you know what? You're totally right. That second one is an hour and 52 minutes, and you really feel that extra 22 minutes. There's a lot of extraneous shit in the second one, I gotta say. But this one is tight. It's like not a line wasted, not a shot wasted. It's just very tight. I mean, there's just not much of anything that shouldn't be there, you know, I think. They've got it down. It's great. And even the shit that, like, you'd cut is, like, the best stuff in the movie. Like him, you know, shooting balloons and shit. Now stop popping. Yeah, that was so bizarre. But I guess it was just, like, funny. I read that he was just doing that in between takes. Yeah, like there was an air gun on the set, and he just started shooting balloons, and they shot it. And the same with his introduction, shaking the martinis to rhythm. Apparently that was just Powell just doing shit like that and didn't tell, and Dyke didn't tell him to, Van Dyke. Don't call him Dyke. A dyke is what separates. Is that what you call Dick water. Van Dyke? Like if you're writing an article about him, Dyke that was great on his TV show. A dyke is just something that water goes through a dam. I know. I don't know what you're thinking. I'm referencing. Jam your finger up there, right? Well, it plugs the holes in a dam. That's a dyke. I know, Henry. That's a dyke. It's spelled different. All right. What do you give this movie? I'm giving this movie a 4. I know. I toggled with a 5 because it is kind of a classic. And that's what we leave 5s for. But it's just such light. It's such a light, gentle movie that part of me doesn't want to give it that. But am I being a snob? I don't think you're being a snob. I mean, my reasoning for giving it a 5 was just that, like, I didn't mind that it was. I mean, it's really funny too because it's not really a genre I care for. You know, the light comedy of this era is not the stuff I gravitate towards. But for me, the 5. I mean, it's not completely perfect. It's not like
a masterpiece. But
You
it's
know what
close
part
to
of it is? You know, it's W.S. Van Dyke is just such a workmanlike director that, like, from on a
Yeah, that's
screenplay
true.
level and on a performance level,
Yeah.
it is absolutely fucking delightful, and it's a 5. And W.S. Van Dyke does a perfectly serviceable job with it, and he tells the story, and the pacing is good, but it's just like very point and shoot. There's like nothing to it, even for its era.
Yeah, and when it was over, I actually could imagine watching this again. I will watch this again in my life.
I've
but
now
I
seen
just-
it 3 times.
Yeah, but I didn't feel like. I mean, classic was just, I don't know, like a masterpiece. Just didn't feel quite like that to me. I didn't get
All
that.
right, so we'll
that
stick
from it.
with 4. Who's your MVP?
You know, it was a little hard because I loved everyone in it, but I have to say because he was a discovery for me and he's so fucking cool. That's William Powell.
No, I'm so sorry. The correct answer is Asta.
Okay, now I anticipated this,
Mhm.
and I want to call you on bullshit because we pick dogs and animals when there are
Uh-huh,
no alternatives, and there are plenty of alternatives. in
Okay,
this.
but what you're not taking into consideration is I'm not picking Asta as an alternative. I'm saying he's that great a dog.
I'm sorry, everybody, that Dan is not acknowledging the greatness of the performances.
I'll
of-
give a
of
runner-up to Myrna Loy for all her cute
Myrna
faces.
Oh, no, we do runner up. All right,
All her
that's
little
fine.
scrunch noses.
If there's a really bad Thin Man movie that we come across, then Asta will get it for me. But right now it's William Powell. Okay, Dan gives it to the dog.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
LVP?
this was hard. I have one for After the Thin Man, but for this
It's
one,
the
LVP
lawyer. Give me a better killer.
That's not a bad choice, except the problem is he's got a lot of lines and he's not bad in it.
He's
they just
not
don't give
bad,
him any,
but-
they don't give him any villain time. He has no unraveling.
All right,
You
if
just
I
see him
may
as
say,
good.
the villain in the second one is fucking Jimmy Stewart. And what's fun about that is the whole time he's doing like his milquetoast bullshit,
Yeah.
annoying
Yeah.
Jimmy Stewart thing. So it's a cool reveal when he turns into
I
the killer.
totally agree. Yeah, I agree.
But in this movie, you just cast it's an anonymous guy. I don't know if he was like a known character actor at the
Probably
time,
All
but
these people.
yeah. But I don't know. I just could have used something more. Not that I'm like giving him shit. He was fine.
You know what? Then I mean, I guess I'll go with you because I was going to try to find like somebody who just wasn't that great an actor, but they're really not any. There's not anybody like that. But when contrasted with the other one, I feel like the villain reveal could have been. The reveal is good. Give me a minute and a half with the lawyer to be evil. He shoots his gun and then they arrest him and it's over. And it's like-
It's a real panic situation.
Yeah.
They should have let him like pull the gun out and have something to say.
A little speech, a little Bond villain speech.
Yeah.
You know.
And then William Powell could have a one-line funny retort, cut to Myrna Loy making a cute face, and then he takes the guy out.
Bingo, bango, bongo. Yeah. so
Cut
I'm
to
gonna go with
Asta popping a balloon.
There you go. I'm going to go with him too. Macaulay. That's Macaulay.
Great. Henry, superhero count?
1.
Cesar Romero. All right, we'll just go.
Romero, for people who don't know, is the Joker in the TV series Batman from the 60s and the movie Batman.
That's right. He's the
In
second
after-
best Joker.
He's fucking great, man. He's Joker I grew up on. In the second movie, I have 2.
Oh, well, you could do your theme for that.
Oh, right, since I didn't do it now.
Uh-huh.
Yes, remind me.
Will do, Henry. Henry, one thing I wrote down about this movie, this is W.S. Van Dyke for you, One Take Woody or whatever. They gave him a 3-week schedule to make this movie, 21 days, and he finished it in 12.
Wow.
Is
He
that-
shot this-
That's insanity.
Gee.
He didn't even need 2 weeks to make this fucking movie.
That's crazy, man. Well, I mean, that's pretty impressive. I mean, God
I know,
damn.
but set up some interesting lighting. Give me,
Yeah,
give me some
true.
better sets.
they gave you what they give him $200,000.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
he's
a
got
lot
some
of
money to spend on this thing.
Yeah, it's true. He's like, I don't need all that money. Can you give me less?
Yeah, maybe he pocketed it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
All right, after The Thin Man, let's talk about it. W.S. Van Dyke, back to direct. Hackett and Goodrich, back to write. We're bringing the gang back together. It is a 2-year window, 2.5 year, close to the magical 3-year window. You didn't need that much time back then. All right, December 25th release, Christmas Day, not Memorial Day.
Christmas Day, 1936.
Because it's a New Year's movie. You know, the first one's kind of a Christmas movie. Why didn't they release that closer to Christmas?
We didn't even say that, yeah. Maybe they weren't sure how it would do, you know, I don't know.
Now, this is also back when they would just put movies out. Like, they didn't think about release dates.
Right. Yeah.
We've talked about that.
Yep.
All right. Budget, Henry, of $673,000. Wow, they tripled their budget. Pretty good.
For sure.
And it was a huge hit. It made $3.165 million, and it was the number 4 film of 1936, Henry.
Man alive.
You want to guess those other 4? You think you could do it?
Nope, I don't. Not for a second.
All right, here's the top 5 highest grossing movies of 1936. I thought this was kind of interesting. Number 5 is Modern Times by Chaplin. So we're still putting out silent films on the regs, and they're making money.
Boy, we had a more educated film audience, too. Jeez. All right.
The number 4 is this. Number 3 is something called Lloyd's of London that I've never heard of. Lloyd's of London.
Harold Lloyd?
Tyrone Power is involved.
Oh, all right.
Harold Lloyd? Who's that?
Comedian. Famous comedian of the era. You don't know who Harold Lloyd is?
No, I really don't.
The guy hanging from the clock in the famous black and white shot.
Oh, sure. Safety something.
I don't remember.
All right, Henry, but now listen to the top 2 movies of this year. And this is how big The Thin Man was.
Okay.
All right, so number 4 is after The Thin Man. Number 2 is a movie called San Francisco, directed by W.S. Van Dyke.
Oh, wow.
Because he was making like 5 movies a year.
Well, he makes them in 12 days.
Yeah. And the number 1 movie was The Great Ziegfeld, which also won Best Picture. And the stars of that movie, Henry, are William Powell and Myrna Loy.
Wow. Jeez. That's amazing. Well, I read that Myrna Loy had not had much of a big career before The Thin Man. Like, she was kind of being typecast in a lot of damsel in distress roles.
She played a lot of Asians.
Yeah, which is
gross now. You can't watch any of those movies.
Yeah, Powell was doing just fine, but like I think like the two of them together, this really just launched them. So I guess
it revitalized Powell's career, and it really launched Loy's, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
I'm sure after this podcast, I'll have to listen to hours of my father correcting me and telling me long, drawn-out stories.
I'm all for it. I'd be interested to hear those stories.
All right, can you listen to them and then abridge them for me?
Have them call me.
Okay.
I'll bridge them.
Oh, okay, so let's talk about this movie. It opens with some very fun opening credits where you get to see little drawings of the Thin Man crew.
Yeah, that was weird.
And then we get Asta. He gets his own credit. And it also says Asta with Mrs. Asta. What is this now?
Yeah, that was goofy. That was goofy and cute.
I have important questions about this.
It's not really ever resolved either.
Henry,
their relationship.
Mrs. Asta? He comes home. They come home from this vacation. We get to see Asta come up to the house. Nick and Nora aren't even around. Asta like gets his own sequence here.
Yeah, he gets a lot of screen
time. He has a subplot in this movie.
Solo subplot with Asta.
He comes to the backyard. There's a giant pen, like you see it like an African safari. And in it is Mrs. Asta, which is a female version of him, and a bunch of little Astas. And I'm like, what happened here? Why they took him on vacation away from his family?
I don't know.
When I was watching this first movie, I didn't know this was like a dog who's like, when the family's away, the dog will play. He doesn't get to pop balloons at home. He's rearing children.
Here's my theory. If you'd like to hear it, okay?
Tell me.
Asta really strikes me as kind of his own man, his own type of dog. I don't see him settling down.
I agree, which is why this family doesn't make sense to me. I feel like it's out of character for Asta.
Let me finish. Can I finish?
Go ahead.
Can I finish, please, Larry? Please, for the love of sweet Jesus. All right. Asta, I don't think that's Asta's wife. I think that Nick and Nora are just being cute. And you're looking it up right now, aren't you?
No, I was doing something else. I thought I might have fucked something up, but I didn't.
Oh, no, that's good to know.
Well, Nick and Nora are being cute because they're always being cute.
That's correct. I think they just named another dog that they had who was a female, Mrs. Asta.
No, of course.
Oh.
But clearly they're married.
Asta and Mrs. Asta?
You know that Nick and Nora had a ceremony for these two.
Oh, yeah.
There's pictures in that house of these two kissing.
But what I'm saying is, I got the impression, due to Asta acting like he was very unfamiliar with the territory there, that maybe Mrs. Asta was territory, right? Nice one.
Thanks.
That maybe Mrs. Asta was like an after purchase, and Asta has not met Mrs. Asta. Like it's an arranged marriage.
Clearly, this is an invention of the writers for the sequel. Okay, in this first movie, Asta, they would have mentioned it.
I feel like they would have.
William Powell, 100% would have been like, "Hey, Asta, you miss your wife?"
Right, and the other thing is. If they are married, I don't know that I'm too comfortable with Mrs. Asta being courted by this other dog that goes underneath the shed. She's clearly being kind of a tramp because.
Listen, don't blame the victim here. What are you blaming her for attracting attention? She's a lovely dog.
Yes. Not blaming both of them. If she being unfaithful to Asta,
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Okay, so and it's also a little bit.
Listen, Asta just left town. Let her get a little attention. Maybe show a little thigh and let Asta, defend her.
She's got like 6 kids to take care of. She's not having any.
Hey, she's still looking pretty good.
If you say so.
For 6 kids.
You say so, Mr. Bestiality. Listen.
Whoa! I never said sexually. It's a fine dog. I watched the Westminster Kennel Club dog show. I know how to judge these toy poodles.
Good boy. Let's get him a pipe and a little hat. Sherlock Holmes.
She's part of the toy group. The Gray Ghost. Hey, R.I.P. Fred Willard once again. Hey, and R.I.P. Joel Schumacher happened today. Franchise all-star. Did 2 Batman movies that we've covered on the show.
Yeah.
And many more fine films.
And he was associated in some capacity with Speed, right?
No, that's Joel Silver.
No. Yeah, no. But Schumacher recommended John DeBont to direct that movie.
Maybe. But how about all the great let's go back and forth naming the great Joel Schumacher movies. Go.
I'm going to be serious. You might be joking. Falling Down.
He wrote Car Wash.
Okay. Didn't see it. Flatliners.
All right. The Lost Boys.
Okay. Didn't see it. All the way through. St. Elmo's Fire.
About Last Night.
Well, he didn't direct that.
Yes, he did.
It's Ed Zwick. We just talked about that.
Oh, you're right. All right.
Movie.
I'll amend it. Tigerland.
Yes. All right. My favorite Joel Schumacher movies are Falling Down, Flatliners, and Tigerland. They're great movies.
And
A Time to Kill. A Time to Kill.
The Client.
No. Come on.
Come on.
Come on. Please.
What else? Flawless.
I like that. You didn't. Yeah.
I just rewatched it. It's better than I remembered.
I'm glad to hear that.
Mhm.
Look, Joel Schumacher, we talked a lot of shit about him, but he was a very good director.
No,
he had
great. He's made some of the worst movies ever made. But when Joel Schumacher was on, they were good movies.
They really
he made
were,
good movies.
And he also had a very distinct visual style, like almost like a la Tony Scott. He had that kind of like glowing blues and reds. You know, I'm not talking about these saying almost fire.
No, you're right. You're right. A lot of color. Phone Booth is all blues and reds.
Yeah, and Flatliners is an amazing looking movie, and he was a cool director, and he always it's too bad that he's gone. He lived to be 80, but
good for him. A
R.I.P.
toast to
Joel.
Joel Schumacher.
In this movie, they'd have 17 toes.
Good point.
Do you think
yeah.
there was a little implicit racism in the movie where the dog that Mrs. Asta's cheating on is black?
No, but I do think there was some racism in the movie, and that the only black character in either movie is the guy who serves their food on the train, who actually returns in the second movie.
You're getting better at your job every day, Dudley.
Dudley, yeah, great.
Yeah, but anyway, I thought the dog thing, maybe the dog was black, and that was a bad thing. But anyway, that dog's cute too. All the dogs are cute. I don't find all dogs cute. I found the Thin Man dogs cute. Regardless, this movie starts.
All right, they're back in town, all right? They're in Los Angeles. They get off the train. They get in a car. They're having a real nice time. They know everybody in Los Angeles.
There's
everybody
by the
there.
way.
Well, she's a big socialite.
No. When they get off the train.
Oh, no, you're right. Tell us about the case. How'd it go?
I love that.
Because, this is 2 years later, but it's taking place directly after the first one, which is nice, yeah.
Very cool. It brings back a familiarity. There's some connection there. It's connective tissue.
It's exactly what we complained about with Ace Ventura.
Yep, that's totally right. And so, and he, and that's we meet her. They want to settle in and relax.
Well, first we meet all his friends. He's friends with all these lowlives, and then she's friends with like just rich people. We meet Nick has a friend who's a purse snatcher, who tries to snatch his wife's purse. Yeah, his name is Fingers, which is perfect. And he also there's a boxer friend named Bump.
Bump.
Yeah.
I was disappointed. We only got one or two. I thought there'd be about 40. Only one or two heavily stereotyped. Besides the Chinese, we'll get to that. We got only one Jewish stereotype, very bad, and only a couple Italians and a couple Irish stereotypes. Only a few. I was expecting a lot more.
Well, it's only part 2 of 6.
There's plenty of time.
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice anybody who was completely plastered in one of the joints talked like this?
Of course.
Everyone. Yeah.
All right, so they get
got a couple of gangsters with Italian last names, obviously.
They get into town, and it's already time to throw them a surprise party. It's New Year's too. They get in on New Year's.
I felt bad for them, actually.
Why'd you feel bad for them? Oh, because why don't you? They want to relax, get off the fucking train.
They're obviously tired, and they walk in. All these fucking people are in their house, and they can't even. I felt less bad after I realized that they just got over it and got drunk. They didn't care, but yeah, they have a party and they sing some songs. And it's actually on Nick and Nora. I think
Nick and Nora's what? Sorry, I have a poor connection currently.
Oh, that was the joke I've been waiting to tell for 2 hours.
Oh, say it.
They were playing songs. They were playing songs at the Christmas party, the New Year's party from Nick and Nora's Infinite playlist.
Oh, great one. I thought of making a Nick and Nora's Infinite playlist reference myself. I saw that movie in theaters, Henry.
Never saw it.
The best scene is when he fingers her.
With Fingers, the person.
Fingers, it's me, Fingers. How would you like some of this, Kat Dennings?
No, thank you. No, thank you, please, sir. See?
No, thank you. I have to be in a Thor movie and make some comments. I have some comments to make. Check out my boobs.
Didn't know you felt like that about little Kat Dennings.
She's all right.
I thought you'd like someone like you. Love those.
I'm
types.
attracted to her.
Yeah, you love those.
She's good in 40-Year-Old Virgin.
She is good. She's very funny in that.
Okay. at the surprise party, it's thrown by Nora's rich family. So we get to meet her Aunt Catherine, who's sort of like one of these.
Too much. It's too much, man. This is what I didn't want in the first one, and I didn't get it. And this movie is chock full of them, baby.
I kept thinking about how when she was a kid, her family probably owned slaves.
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding me? Please. What's their last name in this? No, he's Charles. He's Nick Charles. What's Nora's maiden name? That would
Dyke.
No, it's probably like Stonewall Jackson. Nora Lee.
She always refers to herself as Mrs. Nick Charles. That's
Yeah,
such a weird old-timey thing. Hey,
They
you
did
can
that
use your own name. You still have a first name.
Dude, they do that.
They do it now. I know. It's I still think it's weird.
Of course it's weird, but yeah, they definitely own slaves. Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, absolutely.
Nick's having a real good time at this surprise party, just joshing everybody.
I loved when
Everybody's-
the butler answered the door and he goes, "Is this the Waxworks?"
Yeah, just joshing the shit. The best scene in the entire movie, Henry, the Asta popping a balloon of this movie, is Nick sitting at the dinner table at this party as these like 4 elderly men are all sleeping around him, and he's just like carrying on a conversation with them.
I loved it. I thought it was actually I think it started great, and he drew it out too long by showing them overly snoring. And
No, I liked that because
but-
it got overly absurd by the end of it.
Yeah, it did.
But I liked
knew-
that.
And I knew from the opening, the great part about it was I knew from the shot of him talking that I just knew they were all asleep. I knew it. And then when they showed them, it made it even
Oh, right.
funnier.
It starts on a close-up of him and then
Him.
pans out. Yeah.
And I knew they were either not listening or totally asleep. And I was right. And it was hilarious. It was funny.
Yeah.
I was very happy to find this kind of stuff funny. It
He's
was
such
like
he's a rascal.
He's very funny, man. William Pye. I like this dude.
He's wily.
He's
He's
wily.
a sly guy.
I smiled a lot.
Yeah. Okay, so while that's going on, Nora is getting the tea spilled from her family. It turns out that her sister Selma, yeah, her husband's name is Robert, and he has gone missing. He's been missing for a few days, and they think they know where he is.
We know where he is. It's no big deal. Never involve the police.
Sure. Yes. So they're like, well, let's go see what's going on with that. So he's at a Chinese restaurant. They go to the Chinese restaurant, where the first thing we see is the woman that he's cheating with performing a production number of Blow That Horn.
Yeah,
And we get to hear the entire song. Hour and 52-minute runtime. If you're looking for something to cut, start here.
She really does do the whole song. And
Yeah.
at first,
I couldn't believe it. It's like we heard 2 verses, a chorus. By the time she's starting the interlude, I'm like, what? I'm still listening to this?
and to use one of your words that you like to use frequently, when she started it, I was like, oh, this is going to be delightful.
Yeah.
Because I could get to see what a 1930s in the 30s. But then by the 10th minute, I was kind of like, oh,
Yeah.
this is a
Then there's a
ballad.
musical interlude where she's tap dancing.
The women come out from the sides after
Yes.
a while. It's like, holy shit, this is no joke.
Yeah. So
There's
then
a lot of stuff happening during that number.
Yeah, I gotta say, in terms of the Thin Man, I reject all scenes that don't have Nick or Nora in them.
Yeah. That's an interesting point. It didn't really occur to me because they're in
I
almost
reject
every scene,
it!
but they're in almost every scene, but you're right. When they're not in it, you kind of there's a vacant there's a vapidity.
God, there's a
to it.
scene with like the owner of this restaurant chatting with a mobster. I'm like, you can keep this shit.
Yeah.
Dancer, I know. Dancer, he might be my LVP because he's kind of he's not. He's a kind of a boring character, and he was so everywhere. He was in so many scenes that I was
Really
like, this
is.
guy has to be the killer. And then when he wasn't, I was like, then why did I have to sit through so much of this character?
Well, the thing with this one is there's too many characters and there's too many crimes, because there's not just the murder.
Yeah, there's crimes that don't even connect.
No, at the end they get Jimmy Stewart, but then they get Dancer and what's her face, the dancer.
Yeah. Whatever. Anyone that is remotely morally compromised in this movie gets arrested at the end.
What?
Anyone morally compromised in this movie gets arrested at the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
What did you think of Lum Yuck?
That's the Asian fella? That's the Asian fella?
Yeah.
I thought that he I mean, it's a little gross.
Just a little bit. Yeah, it was too bad because you always know that shit's coming. And then there's always that part of my brain that thinks many enlightened people in every era we've lived in, and maybe in the 1936 film After the Thin Man, maybe William Powell said, do I really have to say the line, me no looky?
Yeah. Well, but that's comedy. That's comedy, baby. Looking at other races like they are other.
Yeah. It's a lot of that. Anyway,
he's the of the Asian stereotypes. This was the fat angry, right?
Yeah, and making fun of how they talk a lot. That was
sure.
big.
That's a dime a dozen, huh?
It was big.
Yeah. Well, we covered Rush Hour. That's every joke in those movies.
Oh, that's a good point. That was 2001.
Yeah, that's just 6 hours of flied lice jokes.
You're right. You know what? After the Thin Man isn't that unenlightened. It's fine.
It's way better than what would come.
Yeah, you got that right. Yeah, it's like better than fucking what's the Charlie Chan movies and all that shit?
Sure.
With Mickey Rooney and oh god. Yeah, all right.
All right, what happens? It's New Year's. It's New Year's for like the first hour and 15 minutes of this movie.
It's a long night.
Yeah.
Long night.
So we're spending time in the Chinese restaurant now. I couldn't believe it when she started performing another number. This one, a slow one, called Smoke Dreams.
He says we've got time for one more number, folks.
And I'm like, no, we don't. We don't have time for one more number. We're burning daylight here.
And I love the ungrateful saps at the table where, Nick says that everything's going to be on the house courtesy of Dancer. And so all his thug friends, they start ordering all these things. And then as soon as there's no number after that, when he says she's going to do there's time for one more number, they all start going, hey, what's the big idea? We're paying for everything here. We can't get more than one number. And I'm just like, fucking shut up. Everything's on the house. Yeah. You got a 9-minute rendition of Blow That Horn.
Yeah.
You wanted to blow your horn? Would that satisfy you?
Oh, Henry.
Bump?
Let's talk about Jimmy Stewart. He's in love with Nora's sister, Selma.
He's toned down. He's toned down.
Not at first.
But he's not going crazy.
Yes, he is. Early on in this movie.
I didn't think he was. It really came at the very end. And but I'm with you on him. He can be real annoying, but I didn't think he was that bad in this. He was because he's not the star. I think that's why.
That really helps.
It does help. It's like, Jimmy, we don't need that tonight. We don't need you to be doing that. You just read your lines kind of quiet. But
early on, he is such a fucking milquetoast cuck, man. And I hated this character until it turned out that he was the killer. That redeemed him for me.
Yeah.
Because at first it's just like, Selma, we were once engaged, and then you went off with Robert.
Right.
He hates Robert. He wants to pay off Robert to leave so that he can be with Selma. And it's like, dude, you had your shot, man.
Right. You're right. He's a sap.
He's just hanging around at this fucking New Year's party while the woman he's in love with is freaking out about her husband going off and fucking a showgirl.
Right. You're very right.
And he's just like, he loves you, Selma. I
Yes.
know he's fucking a showgirl, but he's thinking with his dick.
Yeah, but I liked Jimmy Stewart in this because I think, like we said before, I think he turns out to be a great villain, and you don't get to see that much. Compared to like people who are really gilding the lily, as they say, I thought Aunt Catherine and a lot of her family members were just way too much to deal with. I mean, like that kind of acting was just like, because you got like this great acting going on with Nick and Nora, and even Selma, who cries a lot, is still good. And
She's not as good as the inventor's daughter from the first one, who kind of played the similar role.
Yeah. And I mean, she was famous too. We didn't have the time, but everyone in this cast are people I've heard of. There were very few people I was like, oh, I never heard of that person. And but the Aunt Catherine clan, I don't know. That was getting to the cartoon point.
That didn't bother me though, because it was played for laughs. And because, and you know what else didn't bother me about that? Because it's such, I don't know, it's just a part of the genre, man. It's a standard. Like all the Agatha Christie Marple stuff and like Locked Room, Sherlock Holmes mysteries, there's always some like big, rich, elite family.
I don't have an issue with that. We had this similar thing in the first movie. But the writing was subtler and the actors were better.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. This isn't as good a movie.
And that's one of the reasons, I think. But it's mainly because the plot just gets ridiculous.
It's complicated. You don't really care as much. And the parlor room scene at the end is a shadow of the one in the first one, even though I like that they did it.
And I did too. I like this movie. I'm not going to, I like this movie.
Totally good, yeah.
The parlor sequence at the end, really talk about one. Like the dining room scene in the end of the first one is very, very compact and tight. Like the buildup is perfect. I think the whole sequence in that dining room maybe takes 10 minutes, 11 minutes maybe. But in this one, it feels like, I don't know how long it is, but it really feels long.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like they're all awkwardly staged too. They're like standing.
There's a lot of rooms with like 10 people standing around.
Yeah. And they're all just kind of looking at Nick. Everyone's turning and staring at him and answering questions.
Well, no need to do another take, Henry.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I worked with Alfred Hitchcock. He used to box. We
Not
had
at this
boxing.
point, dude.
He didn't do anything yet.
James Stewart?
Some of the early Hitchcock. What about those early ones?
I don't believe
Is that
after
Cary Grant?
I don't believe after working with Hitchcock, he's taking third build roles in Thin Man sequels.
I don't know. I thought maybe Cary Grant did some of the early stuff. Like
He's still in England at this point.
But I'm thinking of things like Notorious and shit. Is that like 1940?
Yeah, that's later.
Saboteur. Okay, so Stewart didn't come on board.
I just looked up Stewart. This is his third movie.
When does he come on board with Hitchcock? What year? I'm curious. Is it Rope?
Rope? I mean, I'm looking it up, man.
Yeah, because
he's not in Rope. Oh, yes, he is. That is his first one. That's
and thank you.
I apologize. That's 48. It's a while to
wow.
go. Yeah.
So we got 12 more years.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I'm going to be working with great directors like Alfred Hitchcock, Mr. Van Dyke. You could take another take. You had $600,000.
By the time Stewart worked with Hitchcock, W.S. Van Dyke killed himself rather than go to the hospital.
Listen, I had a mosquito bite, see?
Nick's going crazy at this party. He kisses the wrong woman at midnight, which I found hilarious.
That was weird.
And Nora super didn't care again.
No.
And then at one point, the police is questioning Nora, and Nick, just as a prank, makes them think that she's like in the wrong, and she gets arrested.
Nick is questioning Nora. You're right. No, I'm sorry. I wanted to say what you said. The police is questioning Nora. And
did I say that? The police as a whole, the organization is questioning her.
Yeah, you meant to say R. They are questioning Nora, and she's in jail.
They kicked the shit out of that one dog, though.
Oh, I don't remember this.
Yeah, did you know that? The police, there was that one dog who was trying to hook up with Mrs. Asta. And One of the police officers put a knee on him for a good long time. It wasn't a good result.
It was as long as that song.
What song? Oh,
Blow That
Horn, of course. Yeah. All right. What happens next, Henry? There's a big set piece with Asta involving running around the house holding something. You like that? I noticed the dead body blink at one point.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some stuff like that in this movie. This movie's a little bit sloppy for $600K. It's a little sloppy.
My LVP for the movie is this police inspector Abrams that Nick is working with the entire movie.
Yeah.
He's in a lot of scenes. He's ever present. The entire investigation is Nick and this guy Abrams, and I just desperately want him to be bringing Nora along, but he's spending all his time fucking pranking her and leaving her with her family at home.
Locking her in closets. Yeah, I wanted Guild back. Detective Guild from the first one. He was cool. He had that lantern
You're totally
jaw.
right. That dude was way better.
He was badass, yeah. Abrams is annoying. He is not my LVP.
He's a wet blanket, man.
Yeah, but anyway, Jimmy Stewart is the... Are you done? Is that it?
Yeah, sure. Jimmy Stewart turns out to be the murderer. And it's revenge on Selma. One of the twists I liked was that he hasn't been in love with Selma all along. He wants to kill her fucking ass too.
He's a psychopath, and I thought his. I'm glad they did not give this to Macaulay in the first one. They gave Jimmy some time to explain.
Oh yeah, well he's I've got a gun.
I've got a gun, and he's right about you. I hated you. I've hated you for years, and I hated Robert too. And I planned all these years spending to. But it's great.
Yeah, and then I think it's Nora that distracts him, and then they're able to grab him.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? She throws like a blanket somewhere.
Yeah, she throws something. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought Jimmy Stewart was great in this movie, and I like the heel turn.
Great heel turn.
Really good heel turn.
Yeah.
Done very well. So Jimmy's getting my MVP.
Wow. Incredible.
Yep. Yeah, he is. Good villain. Don't see him play it much. I like that.
That's a good call. I didn't really think about my MVP in this one. I was just sort of like floating along, enjoying them. I'll go with, Myrna Loy was just I want to go with Myrna Loy because I really love her, but she was sidelined too much in this one, so I'll go with Powell for this one. He's the MVP. LVP is the fucking police inspector guy. All right, let's talk about the fucking cliffhanger. Well, you can't skip the cliffhanger because we're going to have to come back next week and discuss it.
Wait, I was about to say my LVP.
All right, go ahead.
Thanks. Aunt Catherine.
Oh, of course. That makes sense.
Yeah.
You saw the cliffhanger, right?
They are... You refresh my memory.
Okay. They're on the train again. Dudley, the black waiter, is there.
Yeah.
Okay. Nora.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Implies a little something, and Nick comes to a realization, Henry. Oh my God, she's pregnant. She has the great line, and you call yourself a detective.
That was good.
It was great.
It was very cute. It was very cute.
And she's pregnant. Now, this is great. I loved this as an ending to the movie. Delightful. But I am concerned about bringing a child into this franchise. That might be a little too cute.
Oh, I was concerned for another reason. But
well, annoying for sure. But
I'm not going to be. No. That's not what I was going to say.
Oh, what's your problem?
I don't want this baby to be born with fetal alcohol syndrome.
Oh God!
Because I don't foresee Nora quitting anytime soon. So we'll see how that goes.
She'll quit. They all quit back then, right?
Sure. Sure they did. Yep. Yes. No, I agree with you though. That actually didn't occur to me, and now that you're saying it, I'm getting very nervous.
I happened to look ahead, and the cover of the third movie, it's like the two of them with a baby, and then in the fourth one, the poster is the two of them with like a little moppet. So he's aging.
But you know what? Maybe they'll leave the baby at home with a nanny or something.
I sure hope so.
Probably a black nanny
Probably.
or an Asian one.
Good.
Oh, and we didn't get to talk about Shyster. The Jewish character, obviously, they call him Shyster about 15 times in one scene.
yeah.
That was amazing.
Sure. That's
Wasn't it?
That's Jewish representation for you.
No, I know, but it's just it's incredible.
Did I ever tell you about the anti-Semitic? I mean, you didn't know he was anti-Semitic, but the anti-Semitic radio DJ in Michigan that I heard once.
I don't think so.
I was up in Traverse City, Michigan, and there was a radio DJ who was introducing the next song, okay? And this is how he did it. All right, yeah, welcome, Traverse City, Michigan. Here on 92.7, yeah. And he was one of those guys, okay? And he goes like this, hey, you hear those Jews, they're really into punk rock, am I right? Am I right? Then he left a little pause, and he goes, you know how I know? They really like to say, oi, here's the Ramones. Yeah.
Wow. That's great stuff.
Yeah.
That's so all of our Jewish friends, including the one I'm speaking to, stay away from Traverse
From
City,
Michigan. From Michigan in general.
From Michigan in general, yeah. They're going to fuck up the next election, too. Yeah. Oh, boy. Boy. That's really good stuff, though. Wow.
What do you give this movie on the 1 to 5 scale?
I'm giving it a solid 3.
Oh, totally. This is the U.S. Marshals of this franchise.
Well, you know what? I'm worried, like I always get, but I'm positive. I'm thinking optimistically. I'm hoping they're not going to get really bad. I don't want them to get really bad.
Yeah, I'm concerned about the directors and the writers changing. I think we have like one more movie with this team, and then things are starting to change. Yeah,
but that might be all right. We might have like a lone wolf and cub situation. I mean, we could have.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, that surprised us.
Yeah, it could have some good, but I don't know. I hope they don't get too goofy. The first one was just
goofy enough.
Goofy enough. Yeah. So yeah, but okay. So we give the same rating to both movies.
Give us the superhero count, and then let's wrap this baby up.
Yeah, we'll do that right now. I got 2 for you folks, and I hope you enjoy John Williams. Okay. Your 2 superheroes are Paul Fix. That's the actor's name, Paul Fix, F-I-X.
Who'd he play?
He played Phil Burns. Now
that was a major character. Phil, he played into things.
He was the brother. No, he was the husband. It's a tough movie to keep straight. He's the husband of the lounge singer.
That's right.
They don't know they're married.
See, now, Robert is cheating on Selma with the lounge singer who is having sex with Robert, but her husband knows about it, but Robert doesn't know that she's married.
And she's having sex with Dancer.
Yeah,
because Dancer thinks they're going to run away together.
Dancer is like one thing too much. One variable too much in this movie. Cut that out.
Yeah. Anyway, that actor who plays Phil, this was a very, very long and exhausting superhero count to do because, as you can imagine, 55 actors in each of these movies. They're all famous, so they all have their own filmographies. But anyway, Paul Fix was in The Adventures of Superman.
Oh, the George Reeves show.
Yeah, you got to remember that stuff. He was in 2 episodes playing different characters. One in 1953 called Czar of the Underworld. That was his character. He was the Czar of the Underworld.
Great.
And then another one, he played a character called Semi-Private Eye.
I like it. All right, who's the other one?
This next one's pretty unique too. Esther Howard, okay, who is credited in this movie as woman at Lychee Club who says, "Hey, handsome," to Nick. That's her whole credit.
I kind of remember that.
I don't. There's a lot of women.
That's
who
at
say
the
that.
Chinese restaurant.
Yeah, I guess she yelled it to him, but she's somebody, Esther Howard. And she was in a movie called, she played a character named Filthy Flora in a movie called Dick Tracy versus Cue Ball.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
Now, is that a movie? Or
They're like movie serials. They made like a bunch of them. There's also like Dick
Like
Tracy
Batman.
versus the Grotesque Man, I think.
Yeah, and that's like the first Batman, right? Batman in the 40s. There was a Batman and Robin.
Well, yeah, there's a few of those, and there's also Superman and the Mole Man. Oh, that's an actual
Yeah.
movie though.
Yeah, but I can't remember the actor too. I knew the actor.
We didn't cover Superman and the Mole Man. We should go back and do that.
We didn't cover the Batman and Robin stuff either.
Yeah,
were
but those are
critical.
serials. Those are like legit, like just like 5-minute serials.
All right.
The Superman and the Mole Man was a movie with George Reeves. Okay.
All right. Well, that's that, folks.